The aroma of roasting turkey drifted through my parents' suburban home, signaling the start of our annual Thanksgiving tradition, a gathering that usually doubled as a not-so-subtle critique of my life choices. "So, Emily," my brother Mark said with a smug grin, adjusting the knot on his expensive banker tie from across the dinner table. "Still playing shopkeeper with your little website?" I took a calm sip of wine, thinking back to the alert I'd received earlier that day, one I hadn't yet shared. "The site's doing really well, actually," I replied smoothly. "Eco Essentials just crossed 2 million active users." "Users?" Jessica, my sister-in-law, scoffed. She glanced at her sparkling designer watch and laughed. "You mean people who buy bamboo toothbrushes and cloth napkins? That's not what I'd call a business." Mom appeared from the kitchen, beaming, with her prized turkey in hand. "Sweetheart, we just worry. Mark's managing billions, Rachel's a successful lawyer, and, well, you're selling things on the internet." "And speaking of serious careers," Rachel added, brushing an invisible speck off her blazer, "my firm is handling Amazon's latest acquisition. Some green living company, I think. Might be a good time for you to think about real work. Maybe I can put in a word." My phone vibrated softly in my lap. A message from my CFO. Final deal signed. Funds transferred. Press embargo lifts in 30 minutes. I allowed myself a private smile, thinking about the last 3 years. While my family rolled their eyes at my hobby, I had built Eco Essentials into the leading eco-conscious household goods company across North America. Our patented bamboo processing tech had changed the landscape for sustainable products, and our direct-to-consumer approach had become an industry benchmark. Naturally, tech giants noticed. "Remember when she asked us all to invest?" Mark continued, laughing. 50 grand each for 10%. Dodged a bullet there. Dad peeked over his newspaper and nodded solemnly. "Sometimes it takes a lesson to understand. Leave business to the professionals." "Those bamboo whatevers probably don't even sell," Jessica muttered with a dismissive shrug. "I mean, seriously, who buys that junk?" Another vibration. A new message. CNBC interview confirmed. "Forbes cover goes live tomorrow." "Actually," I started, but Rachel cut me off, clearly not done gloating. "Did we mention Mark just made managing director at Goldman? That's what discipline and the right path gets you." Mom set the turkey down in the center of the table, glowing with pride. "We're all so proud of him. He's a real success story." I glanced at my phone. Just a couple of minutes left. "Speaking of success," I said casually, "Rachel, you mentioned something about Amazon acquiring a sustainability brand." "Yes," she nodded. "Very hush-hush. A major player. Huge purchase for their green division." "Why?" Before I could respond, my phone rang. The caller ID flashed. Amazon Corporate Development. I answered on speaker. "Ms. Walker," came a formal voice. "We're calling to officially confirm that Amazon's acquisition of Eco Essentials has been finalized. The full transfer of $4.2 billion has been processed. Congratulations." The turkey slipped from Mom's hands and hit the floor with a heavy thud. Mark's wine glass paused midair. Rachel's neatly stacked legal papers fluttered to the floor. Jessica just stared. Dad looked up, blinking. Did they say billion?" I stood, adjusting my plain sweater, the one likely worth more than Jessica's entire outfit. "You know," I said with a calm smile, "maybe it's time we redefine what selling things online means." The dining room suddenly felt far too small as everyone trailed behind me into the living area, leaving the ruined turkey behind. "This can't be real," Mark muttered, scrolling furiously on his phone. "There's no way Eco Essentials is worth that." "Actually," I said, pulling up our dashboard on my tablet, "they initially offered $3 billion. We negotiated up after our Q3 numbers shattered projections." "But it's just bamboo stuff," Jessica stammered, her heels clicking nervously on the hardwood floor. "No," I corrected, showing them our product catalog. "It's a patented material innovation that's revolutionizing how sustainable goods are made. Those bamboo whatevers are now in over 5 million homes." Another ping. A message from my COO, Whole Foods rollout confirmed for next month. Target and Walmart entering a bidding war. EU expansion prepped. "All those times we tried to steer you toward something stable," Mom murmured, sinking into her armchair. "The corporate paths you all wanted for me," I said, flipping to our financial reports, would have never allowed this. I was filing patents, building international logistics, reshaping how people think about their household essentials. Rachel grabbed her laptop and started typing furiously. Wait, that secret Amazon deal I've been working on? That was your company. I laughed softly. Ironic, isn't it? You've been managing the legal end of my acquisition without realizing it. I especially liked your note about the pioneering green technologies. Mark stood up abruptly, tugging at his tie again, an old nervous habit. You know, I said, doing some quick math, that investment I pitched, 10% for $50,000 each, would have earned each of you roughly $400 million by now. I gave a light shrug. But like you said, good thing you passed, right? My phone vibrated again. Jeff Bezos is tweeting about the acquisition in 5 minutes. Your social team reports over 100,000 new followers in the past hour. Dad picked up one of our glossy product catalogs from the coffee table, his fingers trembling ever so slightly. All of this, the range, the infrastructure. It's why Amazon was interested, isn't it? I nodded. We don't just make eco-friendly goods. We produce them better, faster, and at lower cost than legacy manufacturers. And our direct-to-customer system reaches audiences traditional retailers can't. Jessica was scrolling through our company's Instagram. Your little website, she murmured. It has millions of followers. 20 million, I corrected. Turns out people do care about the planet. Mark sank into the couch, clearly stunned. His MBA suddenly felt less like a power move and more like a footnote. You built this whole empire while we thought you were just drifting, he muttered. No, I said softly. While you were chasing old formulas, I was building something that actually mattered. Because unlike you, I realized the next generation of business isn't about managing someone else's money, it's about solving real problems. The room went quiet, each of them absorbed by headlines, tweets, and breaking news coverage flooding their phones. Their entire idea of what success looked like was being shattered in real time. I need to get going, I added, glancing at my screen. Press conference in an hour. CNBC is running with a segment, How a Millennial Entrepreneur Rewrote the Rules of Sustainability. Mom looked up from the product catalog, her voice barely audible. Emily, why didn't you tell us any of this? I walked over to the front window and looked out at the same neighborhood where I'd once been pitted. Would you have believed me? I asked. Or just dismissed it as another one of my unrealistic dreams. An hour later, I was in my actual office. Not a cubicle, not a shared co-working space, but our company's flagship innovation lab, set inside a repurposed industrial warehouse. Exposed beams, vertical plant walls, sustainable materials everywhere. A stark contrast to Mark's high-rise bank or Rachel's leather-bound law firm. My assistant, Alex, entered holding a tablet. The Amazon execs are here for the announcement. Your family just arrived too. I smiled. How many times had they made me enter their offices through service entrances or wait in lobbies? Send them up. When they walked in, they looked completely out of place, surrounded by interactive exhibits, material science displays, and prototypes of our latest innovations. The arrogance they once wore so effortlessly was gone, replaced by awe and disorientation. Before the cameras start rolling, I said, gesturing to a nearby display, let me show you what a so-called little online shop actually looks like. The wall lit up with streaming analytics, sales data, carbon footprint reductions, customer satisfaction heat maps. Each number a living testament to impact and innovation. Your acquisition costs, Mark trailed off, staring at the dashboard. They're basically zero. I nodded. When people love what you create, they market it for you. No need for expensive ad campaigns. Revolutionary, right? My phone buzzed again. Message from Jeff Bezos. Can't wait to scale your vision globally. Dinner next week in Seattle? Jessica was holding one of our latest material samples, her fingers visibly shaking. This bamboo compound, it's stronger than plastic, and it degrades naturally. I smiled. That single patent is worth more than Mark's entire investment portfolio. No offense. Alex reappeared. Ms. Walker, the Sustainability Council, just arrived. They're eager to meet the new face of Amazon's green division. Rachel looked stunned. You're staying on? As the Global Director of Sustainable Innovation, I confirmed. Amazon wasn't just buying our product line, they wanted our blueprint for the future. I tapped a screen. New metrics appeared. Forests preserved, single-use plastics eliminated, local suppliers empowered across 3 continents. This is what the new era of business looks like, I said. Not just revenue and market share, but measurable good. Unexpectedly, Mom stepped forward. All those holiday dinners where we begged you to be more like your siblings taught me to trust my own direction. I finished. Funny how the strongest motivation comes from people telling you what you can't achieve. My phone buzzed again. Time magazine request. Interview for Person of the Year feature. Theme, the new face of American innovation. Dad looked at the data one more time, his expression unreadable. Your sister's right, he finally said. We were using the wrong scale to measure success. Not wrong, I corrected gently. Just outdated. Business isn't about just making money anymore. It's about creating value that lasts. Mark reached out and touched one of the displays, watching as thousands of live transactions flashed across the screen. That original offer you gave us, it would have made me wealthier than every exec at my firm. I nodded, but it was never just about money. I wanted to prove you can build a company that thrives on both purpose and profit. The doors swung open as the Amazon team stepped in, trailed by a wave of reporters and media crews. The sharp contrast between their tailored suits and my team's earth-toned, sustainable outfits made our stance loud and clear. Change wasn't coming. It was already here. This, I said, lifting one of our latest products from the display, is what the future of consumer goods looks like. You either evolve, or you get left behind. One by one, they nodded. Even Mark managed a slow, genuine smile. Well, he admitted, I guess my little sister just redefined business success. As I approached the podium, I caught my reflection in the eco-glass wall behind me. Not a girl with a silly dream anymore, but a woman who had built a billion-dollar movement while the world was looking the other way. Because sometimes, the greatest triumph isn't proving people wrong. It's giving them a new way to be right. And as the cameras flashed, I knew this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a business revolution.